Hi everybody, and thank you for taking time to join us for this information session on our Master of Management in the field of digital business, which we offer at the Wits Business School. And we are really excited about this course, and I'd like to share with you firstly some of the background, and you could say the ethos behind the course, and then get into some of the details about how it's delivered and some of the questions that people often ask. So what lies behind this course is this notion of technological change. Technological change has been with us forever, in fact through the ages. But literally over the last 2 decades or so, the impact of this change and the rate of the change and the intensity of the change has become so profound that this term digital disruption is actually appropriate. Industries and societies and people are being disrupted. And as industries and businesses and careers get disrupted, it's really important that we think, how do we respond? And it's not only the response at the firm level. The question is, how does this technological change affect us as professionals? And how do we need to respond? And what we've really tried to do with this course is put together a broad array of material and insights that help people understand what technological change is, the mechanics underneath it, how it impacts on business, very importantly, how it impacts on the science and the art of management. So this isn't a technological degree. If you want to get a degree in data science or artificial intelligence, the School of Computer Science and Applied Maths at Wits offers excellent courses. Or if you want to get a degree in robotics, you could do an engineering postgraduate degree. This is a business management degree. Yes, we do address some of the technologies that underpin the so-called Fourth Industrial Revolution. So we do introduce technologies like artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, data science, robotics, virtual and augmented reality, and I could go on. But we look at these more from the perspective of how they impact on business, and as business people, how we need to understand them, embrace them, respond to them, and incorporate them in the day-to-day affairs and activities of our businesses. We do not try to make you an expert in any one of these topics in the space of the course. That would clearly be impossible. But what is important with regard to these technological foundations is that you know enough about them that you can actually understand what they mean for your business. But the majority of this course is really focused on management and the various disciplines of management. So we start off by looking at strategy. There are some people that say technological disruption has made the old school of strategy obsolete. We look at that. We introduce new ideas of strategy, and then we say, is this actually obsolete? What is still relevant? What do we need to add? And how do we think about strategy in the digital era? We look at the topic of digital transformation and digital maturity, because as this process of exogenous change affects all of our businesses, we have to respond. And the sum total of all these responses is often truly transformational for firms. So how do we think about the process of digital transformation? What is the end goal of digital maturity? What are the factors of digital maturity, and how do we get them? And then we look at some of the traditional so-called functional disciplines like marketing. Customers are changing, the way we engage with them is changing, the way we reach them is changing. Therefore, we talk about digital marketing. Operations need to be updated. So we look at digitalization of operations. Of course, responding to technological change, one of the key things is innovation. You cannot but think about responding to technological change without thinking about how we organize and architect our innovation processes. So we talk about innovation and entrepreneurship, very much from within the perspective of large traditional firms. So those courses that I've just mentioned, Introduction to Digital Technology Fundamentals, Strategy for a Digital Era, Digital Transformation and Change Management, Marketing in a Digital World, Digitalizing Operations, and Innovation and Entrepreneurship for Digital Business. Those are what we call the core courses. There's 6 of them, and we think they are the foundational building blocks that everybody does. In addition to that, you then have to choose any 3 of 6 electives that we offer. 3 of these are quite deep dives into specific areas. So the 2 most technical ones, we do applied big data and analytics, which goes a little bit deeper into the science of big data. And we also offer an elective called cybersecurity and risk management, which is hugely topical at the moment, of course. And of course, that goes a bit more into the topic of cybersecurity, largely from a management perspective, not to turn you into a cybersecurity geek, but to know how to apply cybersecurity and risk management practices in a real business. And the third relative deep dive is systems thinking for the digital economy, where we recognize that everything is interconnected, everything is interrelated, and how do we think about the tools to make sense of this interconnectedness between everything. And then 3 other electives that we offer are, you could call, applications of digitalization, or industries where digital transformation is really very impactful at the moment. And those 3 are what we call digital financial services. You know, in South Africa, we've seen a lot of digital banks launched recently. So the whole area of fintech and digital banking is the topic of digital financial services. The second is what we call digital commerce, which is really centered around the area of e-commerce and the transformation, the true transformation of the retail space in South Africa. It was quite slow and it picked up a bit, and then COVID came along, of course, and e-commerce has just fundamentally taken off and changed the game of retail. And the third area is what we call digital government. How is digital transformation impacting on government, what it does within itself, but also how it delivers services to citizens and how it engages with citizens and the role of government, in fact. And this is also a very important topic in this era of the so-called Fourth Industrial Revolution. So those are the 6 electives: cybersecurity and risk management, applied big data and analytics, systems thinking in the digital economy, digital financial services, digital commerce, and digital government. And out of those 6, you have to choose 3. And then there's the other huge part of this master's program, which is your research project. And in a way, this is what differentiates this program from many other courses, because this is where you take what you've learned in the courses and actually do a really deep dive into a particular topic that is of interest to you, but that showcases your ability to do properly structured research and organize a set of thoughts around a complex project and a complex topic in your research project. In fact, the research project counts for half of the total credits on the course. The research project is 90 credits, and the courses collectively are 90 credits. So it's really important, and it does actually elevate this degree to one of a serious academic standing and differentiates it from a lot of the other courses out there in the market. The question you're going to ask me is, so how does this course set itself apart from all the other stuff that's out there? Well, I think the first point is, when we launched this course 3 years ago, it was the only one of its kind in the world. There were lots of master's and postgraduate courses zooming into particular areas of digitalization of business, but ours was the first and only one then, which really took a general management perspective and said, how do we need to update our thinking about management science and the practice and art of management to reflect these digital transformations that are happening around us? Since then, there are 1 or 2 others that have been launched elsewhere in the world, and 1 or 2 online versions. Ours remains the only one in Africa and South Africa, and it is certainly still the only one globally which has its sort of locus and its focus in Africa and South African contexts. I think that's the first thing that makes it different. The second thing is, it does really take a lot of the old traditional thinking around business management and the science of business, and it updates a lot of the traditional thinking to say what is still relevant in the digital era, what has become obsolete, what new thinking has come along, and it creates a coherent picture of these perspectives and gives people modern tools to manage business in a time of radical and profound technological change. People then also ask me, so what actually do you get out of this course? You know, once I've been on it, what will it do for me? What will I get out of it? Well, the first thing is sort of at an internal level. we certainly hope that people leave the course with a much deeper understanding of the nature and the impact of technological change and disruption, and more importantly, what that means for business science and the conduct of business, and how business can thrive in a digital era. But at a personal level, certainly the people that have been through the program before you, it has been a real catalyst for career change, for career advancement. We've had people on the program that have had incredible new opportunities open up to them that they never thought they would be eligible for on the basis of having done this program. Also, at a personal level, we hope and believe that it will allow you to be more effective in your current and future jobs in the workplace that you're in. So yes, it will open up new opportunities for you, but in the short term, and possibly more importantly, it really helps you to make a contribution to the organizations that you are part of as a thought leader in this area of digitalization, digital transformation, digital business. But we'd actually like to go a little bit further than that. We believe that people who have done this program have made, and you will be able to make, a difference in your company. And that therefore your company will benefit from you having been on this program, your organization, that your contribution to the organization can and should be material. And we'd like to think actually even bigger than that. That as a person who becomes a thought leader in digital transformation and the digitalization of business and society, you would be able to play a constructive role in helping shape the collective response of the organization, but of the economy and of society to technological change. Now that might sound a bit grandiose and a bit of a pipe dream, but certainly the folks that have gone before you through the program believe that that is not an unrealistic expectation, and it's not something unrealistic to hope for as one of the things that could flow out of you going on this program. So folks, we'd love to see you on our program next year. If you have any questions, and I'm sure many of you do, we will be answering some questions after this. If after that you still have questions, please go to wbsdigital.co.za, where a lot of the frequently asked questions are addressed, and you can get a lot more information on that website. But last year we had 800 applications for this master's program. We could only accept about 100, so please get onto it. If you want to do this, get onto it, get in line first, get your application in, because we'd love to have you. So let's firstly distinguish, of course, there's a full-time format and a part-time format. So let me address the full-time format first. You will remember that I said the course comprises of 6 core courses, which you have to do all of them. There are 3 electives that you choose out of 6 that are on offer, and there is the research project. So when we think about that, you'll see on the slide that we will start with orientation around the middle of January. And for the full-time, lectures commence on Monday the 17th of January, and the core courses will be then delivered during the period January to August or maybe September. So that's where the 6 core courses are delivered. The electives will be delivered from September through to November, and following up a few in January and February in 2023. And during that time, towards the end of 2022, you need to start thinking about your research project, about the topic, getting a supervisor lined up, that around October, November, you start thinking about that topic, that you do the research project in the first half of 2023. And the guys that are really quick finish typically around April. The guys that are slow maybe go as late as July, August, September on the research project. So for the full-time cohort, the format is you do 9 courses in this year, and all the courses are in what I call block release, and I'll share that with you what I mean by that. So you do 9 courses this year. You start your research project towards the end of 2020. Sorry, when I say this year, I mean 2022 in your first year. And then you do your research project in the first half of the following year, which will be 2023 in your case, for people who are starting in January 22. That is for the full-timers. It is aimed at people who really can devote pretty much their full time to this course. And it is, I will be honest, it is hard to do it if you are holding down a big full-time job. So we also offer a part-time course that is really targeted at people who are in full-time employment and can't take a lot of time off during the week. Now, the way it is structured for the part-timers is all the lectures are on Saturdays and the exams. So you don't need to take off leave to actually do the lectures. But because of that, it's really spread out over essentially 2 years. So the courses are done in block release. So in other words, you start one course, you finish it. You start the next course, you finish it. But there are 7 Saturdays that the course is done over. The first 2 are essentially the whole Saturday. Then the next Saturday, it's the whole Saturday. And from then on, it's Saturday mornings for the remaining 5 Saturdays. You're done with that course. You start the next one, the same format. So it's a Saturday morning format. The way that will normally work is you would take pretty much all of 2022 to do your 6 core courses. In fact, probably the 6th core course would be done at the beginning of 2023 along with your electives. The research project takes shape at the beginning of 2023. And you actually you defend your proposal around the middle of 2023, and you then do your research. The really quick guys finish in 2 years. Many people take up to about 30 months to do the part-time masters. So those are the 2 options that we have available, a full-time option and a part-time option. Yeah, I think it is important is to zoom into that block structure, because we talk about it's delivered in block structure and some people might not necessarily know what that means. So I'm going to share a slide with you and I think it speaks to it. So for the full-time format, the course is typically delivered over a 4-week period, each course. So let's say we're talking strategy. Strategy is delivered over a 4-week period. The lectures are delivered essentially all day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. You'll have an orientation session in either the morning or the afternoon of the Monday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you are in the classroom all day. And then the next 3 weeks are spent in self-study, working on your project, on your assignment with your group, and preparing for the exam. And the exam is written on the Saturday morning of week 4. So that's how it is if we are in contact, and this is an important point. We are likely to have to deliver a lot of courses next year still in virtual format. Or we certainly have to be prepared to deliver courses next year in virtual format. We are delivering all our courses this year in entirely virtual format. If we have to deliver courses in virtual format next year, then the full-time masters, it is the morning of the Monday, Wednesday and Friday of the first week, all morning, and the morning of the Monday and Wednesday the following week, and all day on the Friday again. So just to recap, in virtual format, week 1, Monday morning, Wednesday morning, all day Friday. Week 2, Monday morning, Wednesday morning, all day Friday. And then again, the exam is in exactly the same time, Saturday morning at the end of week 4. So those are the 2 formats for the full-time cohort. For part-time, I think I discussed this. It's a bit easier in the sense that it is every Saturday, starting from week 1, Saturday all day, week 2, Saturday all day, week 3, 4, 5, 6, mornings, Saturday, week 7, exam Saturday morning. Whether you are in the classroom or whether it's virtual, that format works well. So that is the structure for the master's program. So for the full-time masters, the duration is sort of a minimum of about 16 months. So starting January 2022, ending April, May 2023, hopefully graduate July 2023. That's at the short end. The long end, add on 3 to 6 months to that. For the part-time masters, the minimum is about 24 months and the maximum would typically be 27 to 30 months. The 2 courses are identical. The content that we deliver is absolutely identical. They're assessed at the same level. The requirements of the research project are identical. So the only difference between them is really the structure of the delivery, where the part-time is specifically tailored to accommodate people that are in full-time employment and can't take leave. Okay, I think it's very important because sometimes the admission process or the application process can seem quite tortuous. And I'd like to apologize in advance if that is the case. So firstly, you apply through the website. You go to wbsdigital.co.za, or you go to the university website directly and you click through to the relevant link for applications. It is important that you find the right place to apply, and what you are looking for is the BCA 01 code, which is the Master of Management in the field of digital business. The Master of Management in the field of digital business doesn't come up in the initial, let's call it, drop-down list. You have to choose Master of Management, and then when you navigate through that, you get to in the field of digital business. So I think that's the first point. Applications are open now, and they will continue to be open until about the end of September 2021. But again, I do urge you to get in the front of the queue, because we are assessing applications on a batch basis. And if we get to September and our quota is full and we can't take more people, you wouldn't want to be in that situation. So I urge people to get their applications in early. With regard to the admission criteria, it is a general management degree. So we don't require people to have a technical first degree or a first degree in any particular field. What we do require is that you have an honors level first degree. So that is an NQF 8 level first degree to be able to be admitted to the Master of Management program. That's the first thing you need. You need an NQF 8 level degree. And if it's not a South African degree, it has to be a degree that is recognized by the South African Qualifications Authority, SAQA, as being at an equivalent level to a NQF 8 level degree in South Africa. So just to clarify, an NQF 8 level degree would be typically an honors degree. Engineering degrees are typically NQF 8 level degrees. There are some like Bachelor of Business Science, which is also an NQF 8 level degree. The second thing you need is at least 3 years of work experience. In exceptional cases, we'll take a person with, say, 2 years work experience if it is really relevant and the academics are exceptional. But generally, it's like 3 years work experience plus, and you need to tell us about that in the CV. So that's the second requirement in terms of what we need. And those are really the two main things: an NQF 8 level degree and at least 3 years of work experience. With regard to the application process, it is really important that there's a number of documents that we need. We need all of the ones that the website tells you we need, but in particular, you need to pay attention to the certified transcripts of your prior degrees, the certified certificates of your prior degrees, and very importantly, your CV, which helps us assess your orientation towards this and the relevance of your CV, and also your letter of application. Those are the important documents that we really do need, and we use fundamentally in the selection process. So the qualification you would get on successful completion of our master's program is a Master of Management in the field of digital business. It is a formally recognized, accredited NQF 9 level qualification. So by that, it means that in South Africa we have 10 levels in the National Qualifications Framework. An NQF 10 is obviously the apex, that is a PhD. But for all intents and purposes, an NQF 9 is the highest level degree in terms of a practitioner and application perspective. So this is a formally accredited NQF 9 qualification from one of the absolutely leading universities on the continent of Africa. And it is a Master of Management in the field of digital business. The certificate will say Master of Management. The transcript will add in the field of digital business. So ours is a Master of Management. It's not a technical degree. So what this degree signifies to the world is that you have been through a rigorous academically rooted process, which is rooted in theory, but is brought into practice and application, but that focuses on a range of management skills and disciplines, from strategy through to transformation and change management, through to technology fundamentals, through to marketing, operations, entrepreneurship and innovation, etc. So the difference between this is it is a broad-based degree, but where everything is zoomed in and honed to be relevant for the digital economy, not the traditional third industrial revolution economy. But it isn't also a technical degree, which signifies that you would be a specialist in data science, for example. But the advantage of that is that means if you have a commerce degree or an engineering degree or even some arts degrees or a lawyer, etc., you can do this program, because this is about helping people thrive in business in the digital economy.